Shut up, Smarks. Ring Ross Redux. No, I won't tap out. I won't tap out. All of you bastards suck. Just stop watching Raw. Stop watching Raw. I have a paper review to do of TNA / Impact Wrestling / Global Force Wrestling's Slammiversary from this past weekend. If you've been keeping up with the news, you know why it's / and there's 2 promotion names there. And also have to pre-preview WWE's Great Balls of Fire. Anyway, so let's go on to Slammiversary starting off. There's 9 matches. Start things off from the pre-show. 6-person tag team match, which saw Ali, Braxton Sutter, and Mahabali Shera teaming up against KM, Congo Kong, and Laurel Van Ness. Now, I didn't see the pre-show. I didn't know this was happening, so I didn't name their tag team, so I just didn't take time to do it just now. You know how I like naming tag teams. So Ali and her team just went ahead and cherry bombed the opponents, the opposition. The cherry bombing daddies? Sure, that's a good name for their team, I guess. Because Ali used to be Cherry Bomb. And Shine and Shimmer and various other independent promotions and stuff, and gosh, she's pretty. And married, actually, to Braxton Sutter, who is otherwise known as the Pepper Park. Well, I guess I'll go looking for that. I guess it was either posted to their Facebook page or their YouTube page. So if you want to check out either of those 2, by all means, the match is probably posted on one of those 2. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. A 4-way Lucha Rules match for the Impact Wrestling World and GWF Tag Team Championships. Saw Latin American Exchange. So they were holding both championships, I guess, because it doesn't say that either the others were champions. Ortiz and Santana with Diamante, Homicide, and Conan in their corner, because you can never have too many people involved in a 4-way Lucha Rules match. Defeated Drago and El Hijo del Fantasma, and Noah's Ark from Marufuji and Ishimori, because they're both from Pro Wrestling Noah, and Global Force, because apparently they're both from Global Force, and they are a Global Force, because they're global ... Laredo Kid and Garza Jr. And I did call that one. So, yay me. Have I seen this yet? I don't think I've actually seen this yet. I have it downloaded at home, I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. And the third match we have here is, I'm pretty sure I named their tag team. 3 actual tag team matches in a row. So that is the standard tag match, which saw Touchdown City, D'Angelo Williams and Moose, defeating Pump and Circumstances, which was Chris Adonis and Eli Drake, because Chris Adonis, like I said last week, Chris Adonis was Chris Masters in WWE, the Master Lock, and Muscles, so Pump. And just to complete the pun, I just consider Eli Drake, who gets all the circumstances, apparently. So, I believe did I call that one? No, actually, I don't think I did. No, I called for Pump and Circumstance to come in on top of that one, because I figured, hey, smarmy heels are going to take out that one guy who's probably only going to wrestle that one match. And guess what? Well, he did retire. He did announce his retirement publicly. D'Angelo Williams announced his public professional wrestling retirement, undefeated, in one match. So, I mean, it's fine, he came in, he had a wrestling match, he had a good time, presumably. I'm gonna go on a limb and say he worked well in the match. And he showed the proper amount of respect, I'm sure, for everyone involved, and then he said, nope, that's it for me. I'm not doing any more wrestling because these other guys do it for a living, and I just wanted to come in here and have just one match and say I did it. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerbranology TV. Next up, we have Ethan Carter III defeating James Storm in a strap match. That was basically, I'll go on the limb and assume it was 11 minutes of just whooping each other. I did predict that was going to happen. So, you were listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerbranology TV. Next up, we have Jeremy Borash and Joseph Park, who formed the team, as I like to call them, Convenient Transfer Point, Borash and Park, because if you ride the bus or a train or whatever, and there's intersections where buses go one way and one goes one way and the other goes across it, it's a transfer point. So, well, Borash and Park sounds like a street corner somewhere. I'll meet you on Borash and Park. And they defeated 1/3 half-good team, which was Josh Matthews and Scott Steiner. A nose qualification match. Again, it doesn't say anything about it, and I wish I had seen this so I'd have some ideas to what to say about it. I called that the other way. Actually, I expected Josh Matthews would win and he'd humiliate Jeremy Borash in some way, but oh well. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerbranology TV. Full Metal Mayhem intergender tag match. Protect His Throat. Eddie and Aletha Edwards defeated American Wolfpack, Davey Richards and Angeline Love. It doesn't even say how, like by pinfall or something. I mean, there are some that are by submission. There are some, but I don't know. Anyway, I really wish I had watched it. I really wish I had taken the time to watch it, but I didn't. So now I'm paying the price. Hopefully you're not tuning out because of it, but... Heterosexual Cavalcade of Uberswank. Fridays at 3 p.m., 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. Listen live on CHMR 93.5 FM, Alliance 787, Cable 942, or via the internet at www.chmr.ca. You're listening to CHMR 93.5 FM, Alliance 787, Cable 942, and via streaming audio at www.chmr.ca. Your only alternative in St. John's.
I can't stop.
Go forth and multiply and bring pictures.
I can see his inner.
Get him.
This is a great cat guitar show! Slamming Wrestling News Radio on Ring Rust, CHMR 93.5 FM!
A Slammiversary for, which way around is it? I guess it would be, Global Force Wrestling Knee Impact Wrestling. Knee is what was previously called. Because, they announced shortly after Slammiversary that it was... Actually, I think shortly before. Jeff Jarrett announced in a press release or during an interview or something that as of Slammiversary was just cluing up of all the Impact Wrestling business before transitioning it to Global Force. But apparently they may still be calling it Impact Wrestling, at least for the TV show. The show itself is still going to be called Impact. Whether or not it's going to be under the name of Global Force is another matter. They apparently are commissioning new titles, so I guess that's probably a bad sign for anyone who didn't think it was going to, if they thought it was going to stick around. But come on. Writing's been on the wall for a while now. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see if it makes the show any more interesting. We'll see if the heel commentators are taken care of. I don't It's the reason I'm not watching. You have two commentators who are being heels to each other. It's bad enough when Michael Cole was doing it by himself, just being the one heel commentator, but then there's like two commentators going at each other as characters, and I really don't need them to be characters. So Sanjay Dutt successfully defended his X Division Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Low Key. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that match. I do enjoy a good X Division match. Usually X Division or Cruiserweights or whatever is usually a good show. A good match is usually put off by those folks. Very occasionally, and it's usually deliberate, when an X Division or a Cruiserweight match is bad, it's usually deliberate. So, like Drew Gulak trying to ground all the Cruiserweights. It's like, we're going to make this deliberately bad and unenjoyable because heel. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Anyway, so then Sienna defended her GFW Women's Championship and won Rosemary's Impact Wrestling Knockouts Championship by submission. So that will be something fun to watch too. I think I do enjoy women's wrestling somewhat. Not so much the diva stuff that WWE used to have, but now they've strayed away from that. Pretty much left it in the dust. Every now and then they'll put out someone who isn't quite a wrestler yet, or isn't going to be a wrestler, is just eye candy primarily, but anyway. For the most part, they're over that, so. And actually I did predict that Sanjay Dutt would defend his title, but I also predicted that Rosemary would defend her title, so I'm 1-on-1 for that. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. And the final match, the main event, saw Alberto El Patron defending his GWF Global Championship against Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Champion Bobby Lashley, winning that belt as well. So title unification. And the Knockouts and Women's Championship was a unification match too. Any other unification matches? Because most of them were just title versus title. Well, not most of them, but like 3 matches were title versus title, and one of them was a unification. One of them wasn't a unification or anything. So I did predict that Alberto El Patron would win that match. But all things considered, with the whole joining forces of the two, it's kind of, it seemed more symbolic than anything, I guess, to have Alberto El Patron winning, to have the global champion defeating the world champion, I guess, from one promotion defeating the world champion of another promotion. I guess, if you didn't see that, I mean, I've been a fan of Impact for a while now, since it was TNA, and I've only recently stopped watching it as regularly because, like I said, the heel commentating is just so annoying. It just distracts from the rest of the show, and I can't watch the rest of the show because of it. So, I mean, if I knew Spanish, I'd just turn on the Spanish commentating and probably do away with it altogether. But I don't, so I can't. Anyway, so how many matches did I call properly? How many did I predict? I predicted more than half of them. Well, that and did I say there was going to be a pre-show? More than likely, I probably did. I predicted 5 of them correctly, and I got 3 of them wrong, but it's not a big deal. Not like I have any real ego invested in whether or not I get these right or wrong, but I'm sure altogether it's going to be an enjoyable show. Really good show, as it were.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.
Ring Rust presents Macho Facts. Randy Savage once decided he was going to package his urine as a sports drink. It's now known as Red Bull. And the Macho Man's elbow drop can be seen
from space. Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkGibroni, and subscribe to Jarbronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkgibroni.
And what a nice outside they certainly do have. So, straying away from creepily playing songs to about women of wrestling, let's move on to the pre-preview of Great Balls of Fire on the WWE Network from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. So, yeah, just looking at the WWE Wikipedia page compared to the Impact Wrestling one, I mean, after the show, this is going to be updated with the actual results of the blow-by-blow action of the shows. So, anyway, so it's 8 matches here advertised. I'm sure they'll add 1, maybe 2 more. By the time the show actually is over, there'll be 1 or 2 more matches added to it. But anyway, it's taken straight from the Wikipedia page. So starting off with the pre-show, Neville will be defending his WWE Cruiserweight Championship against Akira Tozawa, with Titus O'Neil in his corner. It should really be pronounced Aquila, right? For the actual. So how do you pronounce your first name? Akira. Aquila. Akira. So racism aside, I think Neville's probably going to defend his title for the time being, at least. Anyway, there's probably going to be there may or may not be a feud. This may just be we're going to throw this opponent at you because he hasn't had a shot at the title yet. Generally speaking, people don't win titles the first time they challenge for it. So, not that it hasn't happened, of course. Every time I say that, I quote, Santino Marella and Gail Kim and Christian, and all these people won WWE/WWF titles in their first matches after moving to McMahonOpolis. But it's not unfounded. It's not unheard of. It's just not the norm. Again, half the time I say that, though, of course, is it ends up going that the person just wins the title anyway because, I don't know, reasons, I guess. So I am going to predict, though, that Neville's going to defend his title, at least for now. You're listening to Ring Rust REDUX on Jarbronology TV. Next up, International Powers, Sheamus and Cesaro will be defending their Raw Tag Team Championships in a 30-minute Iron Man match. That's Impact Wrestling right there. That's what they used to do. They used to have 30-minute Iron Man matches, like Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles. Not that it was a bad thing, but just, they don't want to have a full hour, I guess, for the tag team match. So, anyway, and they'll be defending their titles against the Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt Hardy. Unbroken as they currently are, apparently. So, I can see a successful title defense here too, but I wouldn't be surprised or disappointed in any way if the Hardy Boys pulled one out or whatever ends up happening. Who knows? Cesaro and Sheamus may get themselves disqualified, or try to anyway. I don't know if that's a thing in an Iron Man match where you can get yourself disqualified. I assume you can. That's my prediction so far, anyway.
Join your host, Nami O'Hara, every Friday on CHMR 93.5 FM for the Japanese Music and Culture Show at 5 p.m. That's 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen online at www.chmr.ca.
死んでいた朝に弔いの雪が降る
When I was a young boy, I was crazy just like you, but I was a shy boy, yeah.
You're listening to Steve Jamara, 93.5 FM, Alliance 787, Cable 942, and via streaming audio at www.cjamara.ca. Your only alternative in St. John.
Oh, coming through. Sorry. Oh, that stings. I beg your pardon. Oh! That's it. The healing rays of the sun in his pants.
You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerbranology TV. So back to Great Balls of Fire on the WWE Network from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Stay away from book suppositories. So, history. Learn it. Anyway, next up we have The Miz defending his Intercontinental Championship against Dean Ambrose. And The Miz has his new Miz-tourage, is that what he calls them? His entourage? But they're Miz-related, Miz-specific entourage, so Miz-tourage, I think. I don't know. It's dumb anyway, now that I say it out loud. I kind of expect The Miz is probably going to continue defending... There's a good chance I'd say The Miz is going to defend his title, but I'd like to think Dean Ambrose is going to overcome the odds. Maybe, and come out on top of that one. And he might not. Now, it might be one of those things where Dean Ambrose wins the match, but The Miz retains his title, because there's any number of ways to win a match and not win a title. So, you never know. He may, The Miz might get himself disqualified. Any of the Miz-tourage, don't like that name, could get him disqualified. More than likely they're going to get ejected from ringside, much to a tremendous cheer from the crowd. And, who knows? I don't know. It could work out that way. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerbranology TV. And then Enzo Amore will attempt to get some revenge on Big Cass in sort of, we're no longer a tag team match, so one of us probably isn't going to matter quite so much somewhere in the next 3 to 6 months. Match. Big Cass is going to regret this decision he's made. It's like, looking at where I am right now, losing to Zack Ryder and helping Curtis Axel with his boots and Kurt Hawkins with his luggage. I think maybe I should have stayed. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerbranology TV. So, next up, Seth Rollins will take on Bray Wyatt in a let's fight each other match, I guess. I can kind of see Seth Rollins winning that one. I don't think Bray Wyatt would. I don't think necessarily either one of them would be hurt from losing. But I think, I don't know. You never know, though. I mean, not that certainly wouldn't be disappointed if Bray Wyatt won. I'm somewhat of a fan of his. It just seems somewhat more likely Seth Rollins would come out on top of that one. So we'll see how it turns out, but that would be my prediction. Seth Rollins, the architect, will build his way out of, maybe they'll give him some Lego blocks. And maybe Lego Batman will come along and say, hey, you want some help? Or stuff. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerbranology TV. Anyway, Alexa Bliss defends her Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks. I can think of 4 reasons why that's going to be a pretty good match. And anyway, so sexism aside, I think Alexa Bliss, at least for the time being, is going to defend her title. We'll see. Sasha can certainly win it, but I think at least for the time being, Alexa Bliss will keep her title. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerbranology TV. Roman Reigns will be taking on Braun Strowman in an ambulance match because, sure. And, yeah, I think actually, though, Braun Strowman may actually win that one. Just to surprise everybody. But you gotta make Roman look strong. Okay? Punch. Ow! My strong-looking face.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/RayRust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni.
And finally, Brock Lesnar will be defending his WWE Universal Championship against Samoa Joe. I think the thing is, as much as fans like crying about the fact that Brock Lesnar is a part-timer, and this, that, and the other thing, and he's a champion and we don't see him, everybody cheers when he shows up. It's a big thing when he shows up, and he's actually on the show. But that's only going to go for so long. That will only really work for so long. There are more and more fans, I think, crying out for a "we need to see our champion right now" sort of scenario. So I think it might be Samoa Joe's time. He's just going to go in there and he's just going to destroy him, I think. He might not quite destroy him, but I mean, it'll be a hard fight. And they'll just be throwing fists, and maybe there'll be some kicks every now and then, but mostly it'll be fists and elbows and headbutts and all kinds of stuff like that. But ultimately, I think Samoa Joe will end up winning the match.
That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.